So I want you to today follow the practice deep into this space of where your creativity comes, where your awareness is allowing the space so that you're changing the vibration, whether you enter into a room, whether you're saying hello to a person, whether you're cooking a meal, whether a simple text, that it doesn't get a reactive part from you or the other. So saying that, now very gently allow yourself to find a posture that's going to allow you to sit very gently. Take a couple of deep breaths in and allow the breath to gently move out without any force. Now, ideally, if you can elongate the breath, in-breath, and the exhalation can be same level of the elongation, it will harmonize the space of the energy, space of the vehicle that you're trying to relax without forcing into a tool or to a word or to a manual, whether it's taking and allowing your shoulders to be open, chest to be open, and very gently coming into that space. When you come into that space, and when you see that, you can just observe the sense of this space, the manifestation of what you call a body. And if you can take that break from your identity, the role, the trigger that you need to fix, or you need to let the other person know that they have hurt you. All this surface level, at this very moment, you're just finding through the breathing and you're allowing the body to feel. And you're not anchoring this feeling into a matter. The breath is anchoring it into that present moment where all the creativity begins. And let it be, and you become sensitive to it, not on a personal level of sensitivity. I will gently move the camera towards Darren. And when you have come into that space, very gently bringing the palms into the pranam position. Connecting into all this energy network through the breathing. I mean, the yogi says there's 72,000 nadis. And these nadis, the first level of the work you're doing through the breath. Breath means giving the life force through the energy of prana. Shoulders relax and chest open. Even you want to think that you are trying to come into this space, you no longer the identity can enter into this space. But totally the nudity of the self enters into this space. Once that happens, palms onto the namaskar position. Take that deep breath in. Very gently chanting a Om within yourself. And very gently raise that vibration of that self is awakened. Now very gently take another deep breath in and twisting the spine on an out breath onto the left side. Shoulders relax and chest open. There's no effort now. It remains in a neutral space. You're not anchoring into a place. Breathing in, very gently coming back into the center. Shoulders relax and chest open. Change the formation of the leg. Some of you may have to erect the spine a little bit, not force, not the effort, energetically. Take that deep breath in. Hold the breath very gently. Engage the anus, navel, and the throat. Very gently releasing those gentle bandhas and opening up on the out breath to the right side. Releasing the tension of the misery that was created by the vehicle of just having a human life. So don't miss this space, the only space that the creativity is in the space of the moment. And moment, the present moment doesn't belong to a time. It is an opportunity. Breathing in, very gently coming back. Shoulders relax and chest open. Now, observe very gently the tool, the mind, that jumping on any opportunity to be miserable, whether it's past or whether it's to be future. When I call, it might be a desire into the future, but just observe. Because this approach that past and future, you have to settle into this place of the moment where it does not need any level of a money, title, identity, but it has just given you the opportunity to create that space. If you want to serve the human, if you want to serve the God, whatever, if you want to serve being a doctor, being a designer, being a healer, a mother, breathing in. Very gently, shoulders relax and allow the space of the heart to raise its vibration into the space of the miracle. Very gently taking another deep breath in, shoulders relax and just open. Stretch the neck to the right side. Very gently. Very gently. And I told you, out of this level of awareness comes the forgiveness. Breathing in that greatness of the humility back, the neck, and very gently stretch into the opposite direction. Now, in this space, breathing in back to the center. Shrug the shoulders up till the head back, massage the back of the skull. There is less ego. There is more humbleness. There is less falseness. Till the head back, massage the back of the skull. Take another deep breath, shrug the shoulders up a little bit more. Open and close the mouth wider. Releasing the tension of that you have to verbalize everything that's going on. Just bringing that sincerity, freshness, the authenticity back to the space of the show. Drop the shoulders, chin to the chest, back of the neck, relax. Now, breathing in back to the center. Just by maintaining the breath, maintaining the space, every cell of this body or the vehicle, now you can see it's blooming. Now, Energy itself is now being created. Now let it take its natural direction, reaching not by effort, but by effortlessness. Now take a deep breath in, very gently breathe out, collapse the spine, and very gently coming into that space of a subtle spine onto a cat. When a cat wakes up, first thing is it's refresh its spine and open up the doors to the space of whatever space of cry, space of the temple, space of the. Now these doors don't need keys. All the keys are in that space of realization. Breathing in, push the belly into the front, tongue roll up onto the upper palate, energy gaze onto the third eye. And you're opening the space of the chakra out of the awareness. Breathe out, anus lock, navel lock, very gently, throat. Very gently holding the key points of the locks. And coming into the space of the different space. Now into a neutral spine. Now in space of the Christianity, it says be aware. Buddha says right mindfulness. Krishnamurti will say awareness. Kabir would say smriti, remembrance. Now take a deep breath in and very gently drop the elbows into the back and open the throat. Very gently, just coming into that space. Your feet can be on a subtle drop on the knees in the way you were sitting. And if you have a cushion or something, you can open so that the space is not forced. Now very gently take a deep breath into the chest, breathe out, very gently coming back. Shoulders relax and just open. So from elbows to the wrist, wrist to the palms. Now very gently soften the feet and walk those palms into the front. Sukhasana is important in this. So if the ankles are not crossed, it's easy. And if you can just drop the elbows, that's okay. Palms facing up and shoulder blades relaxed, and release the tension that you are holding. The tension is always dead. There is no aliveness in it. So if you're a follower of a news, that's what the news would like to do. There is no aliveness. So this might be only the aliveness if you're not conscious. So very gently observe that you're killing yourself just to become a mechanism to your work or to someone, but you're not being alive. We all do. We all do. So very gently coming into the understanding of that I am taking this practice effortlessly. So I'm alive. but I'm not just mechanically an efficient mechanism that my life is killed, but yet I have to work. So observe that you're not replacing your aliveness as a mechanism, but by understanding and realization. So that very moment you can see that things were very important to you that cost your life no longer interest you. What was interested as a something doesn't give you the growth. Breathing in very gently, coming back, shoulders relaxed, and just open. Now coming back to what? The realization. Into the space of understanding. And giving this space of the present moment is the ultimate value. It's not what you're going to achieve in the future. So a lot of people are paying all their money into a place of dead enlightenment, dead peace, dead heaven. I'm not teaching you to go into those spaces. I'm just asking you a simple practice that you can be in the alive peace. Now take a deep breath in and very gently bring the left leg into the back. Opening up that right hip. So you are very gently, whether you're changing through the down phase, coming into that space, shoulders relax and chest open. Take that deep breath in, breath out, drop the elbows. Now very gently, third eye, sit on the fist. Now create the body, not as a forward bend or a backward bend or none of that. But a body is in the space. Breath is in the space. Shoulders relax and chest open. So very gently observe all the strategy of the mind that dominates you, even to find the right religion, right teacher, right politician. But you are at the very moment finding that and anchoring into that space of no information, nothing, just choice. Now breathing in very gently, coming back, shoulders roll back, chest open, very gently into a plank, strong on the pelvic floor, coming into a lower plank if you can, otherwise drop the knees, breathing in into an up face, breathing into a down face, breathing in, drop the knees, stretch the spine, crawling and bringing the chest into the front, breathing into an up face, breathe out towards the down face, breathing into a plank, drop the knees, Stretch the spine, palms facing up. Just observe whether you are in the breath, whether you are in the posture. Your anchoring point is here into the wholeness. Your realization is knowing the existence. Just finding the value that the mechanism is carrying, and the within the mechanism is the space of that spirit, which we are not aware of it. So what we do is, everyone is saying it's fashion, it's this, is that, and desiring for small things, fighting with small things, mundane things, competing with something. But suddenly, practice has brought you into a place. Everything is disappearing. And suddenly, you're in that space of life, creating a space of attaining to a space of grace. This place cannot be sold, so it will never be essential. But it is the most important thing that we have been not taught. Palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest onto the front, breathing in into an up face stretch, and while the stretching over, looking into the left side as much as possible, right into the back. Breathing in back to the center, onto the other side. Wider open, looking into the left foot in the back, breathing in back to the center. Breath out onto the down face. Now left foot into the front, onto the pigeon pose. Shoulders relax and chest open. Take a deep breath in. Allow the breath out. Create that space of the mystery, the magic that has become in you to become more of a immortal. Drop the elbows. Third eye land on the fifth. Now the mortal vehicle, which we are close to that body, that's where the identity rises. I am this, I am that. What the practice does is, without the practice, you won't see this. So you become immersed in the body, rooted in the body, start feeling all the pains of the body and creating problems in the body, and even start fearing death. Now, in that level of a practice, what happened? We have nightmares, bad dreams, reactions, fears. Now, at this very moment, your consciousness, your practice has created a space to anchor without using the body, without using the identity. Now you can even watch your body and watch your mind. I'm not asking you to separate, but the drama, the trauma, the nightmare, the excitement when you're close to the body and the mind. So there is a distance, but that is a distance to create space for satori, samadhi. You're not part of just time and body and identity and family. You are much more than death and birth. Does it make sense? Breathing in very gently, coming back. Shoulders relaxed, just open into a plank. Lower plank. Breathing in up face. Breathing out down face. Even you're holding a posture, you're working on a breath. You now understand you have had many bodies, many minds, many desires. But the desire now not to bring you back to the body, because the body cannot fulfill a spirit of a desire of a spirit. Drop the knees, stretch the spine, palms facing up. Take a moment. When you come into this realization, you can understand, if you take a break from that ownership of identity of the body or the sickness of the body, then you're creating a space to heal that body. You're not craving for the food. You're not craving for the medicine. You're not craving for having a restful part. Because your spirit is not known to eat food. Spirit doesn't need medication. But as a person, as an ego, we are very greedy for love, as a comfort, as a person, food. And as soon as these thoughts and emotions are stronger, we come back to the body, we come back to the misery, we come back to the mind, we come back to the misery, and we create misery. But the practice brings you starting from unconscious to become conscious to the space of the glory and the divinity. Otherwise, we are constantly going to rest and sleep on the idea of the body and the mind. Palms facing down, crawling and bringing the chest onto the floor. Breathing in into an up face. Overlooking into the left side, wider, right open until you see the right foot. Breathing in back to the center. Keep the extension, otherwise it will tighten onto the right side. Or looking into the left foot, if you can. Breathing in back to the center. Onto the knees. Completely coming into the state of a cat, breathe out. Anus lock, navel lock, throat lock. Just as a cat is awakening itself, waking up from that sleep. Drop the belly, tongue roll up into the eyes, gaze onto the third eye. Just observe the patterns of the Chidakasha. You will not see flowers, but you will see patterns. You will see things of creation in patterns. Dance with that energy. Breathe out, anus lock, navel lock, throat lock. Allow the cells to dance with those patterns of healing. Dance with the patterns of wind traveling through the breath. Breathe out, anus lock, navel lock, throat lock. Now you could see the seasons of the body, seasons of the outside, seasons of. You're not no longer troubled by the nightmare of the body, screaming and crying and weeping because someone left you. Neutral spine. Give a good rotation to the space of the digestion, space of the spleen, pancreas, liver, kidneys. Bring that space of breathing and patterns of the beauty into creating those energies in the body, colors in the body, but without having the ownership of the body onto the other side. Wider rotation. Breathe out, stretch the spine into the back palms, facing up. Now at this present moment, you could see that awareness is like a awake, it's like a spring. It's so light. And I want you to gently embrace that energy and breathing into that space of whatever you call cells, body, without the attachment. I want, if there is a place in that cell, how would that cell receive the joy that you are tasting? How does that cell feel the gratitude that arises? The prayer, thankfulness. Put all your effort into that space of moya. Imagine you have conscious awareness in your own cells, in your energy. So that you're passing a space of that consciousness, whatever you come with. In wholeheartedly. Nothing is held back. So imagine if you're doing an ordinary thing, there is a great revolution, great transformation. Because you have worked from the gross to the subtle, you have worked from the visible to invisible, you have worked from mind to no mind, you have worked from body to no body, you have worked from you, God. Now there is functioning is wisdom. Now you're breathing in beauty, godliness, and grace. Very gently coming into the child pose. Palms facing up, shoulders relaxed, and just open. Now, what kind of work you're doing, if you're doing work without having this understanding, you will be always tired, you will be always miserable. just that you're conscious and allow your body, allow your character, allow your identity to follow that, not the other way around. Observe that inner observation that you have come to realize yourself. And when you have come to realize yourself, not the time that you have spent on the earth and you have become the familiarity of the earth, but the space beyond that, the moment you know you are, very gently, in a very core level, in a very cellular level of that whole existence, wake up the spine one vertebra at a time. Because you are that existence. So why do you try to so effort to fix yourself when you are the existence itself? Now, instead of all your knowledge scattered everywhere, you have come into a place of a sacred unity, an organic unity. You're no longer a crowd of many selves, struggling and fighting and for this and that. You are no longer constant war. You can see this in the world. You can see this in the news. But you are now in this very moment. I can't see, you are being pulled into different direction. You're not falling into pieces and collecting the pieces. Now, even if, let's say, you are having a lot of achievements in your life, a lot of success in your life, loving family, loving health, loving business. Now, all that has come into unity. Not flowers everywhere, but it is a garland. Because the sense of direction is more and more conscious to you. Now, this consciousness, very gently bring the palms onto the Namaskar position and integrate into the space of the being. And you're more crystallized in the space of the being. You have become a fragment person, always remain unhappy. But when you bring all the integration, it attains the ultimate bliss, nirvana. So become the thread that you can join all that togetherness, whether it's a community, whether it's beyond the family, whether it's... So now suddenly you could see that the noise of the head is not a noise, it is now Turiya. It's a God's orchestra. There is a greater beauty in it. Sound to the gentle Namaskar. Shoulders relaxed and chest open. Bringing that all that flowers that bloom on so many separate levels of ourselves back into the glorification of that space. It's a garland. And when you come into that, bring all the cells and the vibrations of the body also that has been separated, saying that was a sickness, this was a trouble, That was a bill. This was a lottery. That comes from the separation of the mind. Bring all the magic into that space. And I want you to chant a single Om. I'm no longer getting the guidance to go with this class. So I think this is the space I'm going to leave you with. Breathing in. Take that single breath and breathe out and vibrate all that cells back to the unity. Arms gently raised back to the crown, cleansing the space with that unity, the fragrance of that unity, the light of that unity, vibration of that unity. Very gently bringing into the space of the crown, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, navel, Murder. Arms very gently raised back and raising the vibrations of what at this very moment you're serving with, whether you're looking after a family, whether you're working with a business, whether you're working with service, whatever. I want you to give all in an object level the vibration of your realization into that. Energy moves through objects when the intention is. And if, let's say, hypothetically, you're doing a coffee shop or you're working with crystal, charge them with this energy so that the energy to heal people, whether it's sound, whether it's meditation, whatever you do, let your hands become a vibrational tools of this energy. Touch the earth, respect for the time that we are taking refuge in this earth, refuge in this body and the mind. Most of all, that we are awakened into that awareness, gently coming out of the physical practice, maintaining that openness throughout the day. Namaste.